Good morning everyone. Weather's a bit cooler today. This is Monday and having a look in another of the greenhouses. Only really used three greenhouses, so this is the last one of the group. Excuse the mess. So we'll go along and have a look what we've got along here. Let's start with a few Opuntias, or Tephrocaxes if you like. These can be rather vicious plants to keep, and I keep my hands well away from them. Show you what I've got on that top shelf. These are generally fairly easy to grow, but having said that, they do have some pests, particularly some of the choicer ones. They can just, as you can see here, they can just rot off or get diseased. Further along, also putting this video up along with obviously YouTube, which I've always belonged to, but a new system or a new one of these things is Odysee. The reason I'm trying this out because it looks like the person I listen to on Sundays may transfer over to Odysee, so it's a case of joining that as well. So I'm going to put this video out first on Odysee, see if it can be done, hopefully under my same name. We get one. So it's partly an experimental video. Here we got a couple of trays of the Clean Your Articulator. This in fact it is a winter grower. I've just noticed a snail. Let me get rid of that. Snails can do a lot of damage to the plants. And we've got a few plants in trays, bits and bobs. Now this lot was watered only recently. You can see some of the plants are still moist. But with this very hot weather, you have to really get down to the watering. Got a few seedling Philospis nellis which I've raised from seed. Hopefully I shall have a load more of those. What I'm going to do with them all when they all come up, I honestly don't know. And you've got like a Simulans in bloom, or coming into bloom. And then further along, some baby's toes. Some have done well, some haven't. As you can see, some of them are just corpses. This is also shows up on some of the Opuntias. They don't look the happiest of plants, I must admit. There was my seeds which I got from the MSG, and as you can see, virtually nothing came up. Very poor, I thought. And in fact, as I said, I have used to pack seeds for the MSG and ASP, when ASP was going. We always used a twist of tissue paper or toilet paper. It didn't matter as long as it was like a tissue paper. You put the seeds in those first and then into the envelope. Unfortunately, they don't seem to do that now. And I'm sure I lost some of the seeds through the seams, because when you got them, the numbers was very limited, and the germination was, well, as you can see, not very good. So let's hope that they alter that and get back to using the little twist of tissue. Anyhow, that's the end of my moan on that. Let's go to the other side. We've got a few more Tephra tunulus. They're not doing too bad. They're vicious things to repot, so obviously either wear very thick gloves or hold them in a fold of newspaper or something like that to move them about, because they are a hell of a job to repot. Some of these pots I've had donkey's years. Really had them for years. I don't know if you can still get them. They probably cost an arm and a leg now to buy. I also bought, I haven't got an example here, but when I was in, now this is going back a few years, in Italy, a town near Ventimiglia, and I believe the name Ventimiglia means so many miles in from the border, which the border would obviously be of France. I stand for correction on that, but I think that's what it meant, Ventimiglia. Venta obviously means 5, and that would be about right, about 5 miles in from the border. Well, then I'm get off the subject. I went to a town or a village called Valacrosia, which is very near there, and I bought a load of pots, square pans. I haven't actually got any showing here, but I've still got some. Some of these were passed on or got lost going to other people, which was a pity because they were nice pans. They were quite reasonable. In Italy, they were obviously made there. So that was Valacrosia many years ago. And so many cactus nurseries in that area. Looking at my baby's toes, I rather like baby's toes. You've got Rhopalophila with the white flower, and you've got Aurantiaco with the yellow. It may just be one's a variety or the other. Here we've got Geminum, Gibbaeum geminum. Geminum obviously means twinned. Another couple of geminums there. I rather like the Gibbaeum. I did at one time have a very large Gibbium, Gibbium heathii, which came from Muriel Stillwell. When she passed away, a lot of the plants were passed over to me, and I had this beautiful plant, heathii, Gibbaeum heathii. But unfortunately, it did go. I've had it for quite a few years, but I lost it. Some of its offspring are probably scattered about. But that was heathii. That's shown on there, I believe. This is only a small greenhouse. It's not full up yet. Mind you, I'm going to need some space when the my seedling Gibbaeums, not Gibbaeums, Plospis, grow up. At the end here, you've got a few more Opuntias. I'm not going to move out or anything. It's going to show the camera down, see what you've got. My poor aloe, I think it's Marlothii or Ferox. That was frosted last year, and as you can see, it may be alive, it may not. It shows you, it's so careful. A couple of Opuntias there. This one here, fortunately this tall one is not putting out one on the top, it's putting out pads on the side. Got another nice one there. The Apantias are quite nice plants, but they're not favoured because of the glochids. And at the moment I've turned the little fan heater off. Fair enough, talking about heaters and fans, this is the latest type, well I say the latest type. The heating, let's have a little look. You look inside there, you can see the actual heater. The heater is in fact solid state. It's a solid state heater, and it comes on instantly. Obviously not at the moment because we don't need it, but there's the little thing. That was quite reasonably priced as well. Needless to say, made in China. What isn't these days? But it seems to be quite a well-made job. I had a little moan about the handle. When it arrived, the handle was not attached. Well, to get it into a box, they just put the handle went down the side with some screws, but the screws weren't the right ones. But fortunately I found some which did, and screwed that on. It's made quite a good job. Anyway, I'm going to put it back on so you'll hear it going. Now that's on now. That's on the fan. The fan's at the back. You can see it whizzing round. Well made job actually. It looks quite safe as well. And it is properly earthed. A lot of Chinese stuff appears to be earthed, but in some cases, particularly the outside LED lights, the earth wire is not even connected to the metal part, so as a warning, be careful, particularly if you get stuff not from a normal shop, but say eBay. Always check the electrical stuff is in fact earthed, and you should be okay. Anyhow, that is more or less all I've got to say in here. I'm just hoping this turns out okay. As I say, it'll be okay on YouTube, but I'm going to try it out on Odyssey, because as I say, the gentleman that contacts, well, has this little talk on Sundays, may be transferring across to Odyssey. So anyhow, I'll give it a try. Have a quick look at the top there. That's a bit of antique electrics. I bought that fuse box. Okay, it's probably not legal. From Belgium many years ago. It does the job. 2 fuses, one's for the heating and one's for the lighting. I put that up many years. I'm not realising how many years have gone by. The time seems to whiz by. As I said before, it does tend to worry me how quick the time goes. I got off, as I said before, off of my job, BT, in 91, release 1991. That was something good old Maggie done for me. Maggie Thatcher was the craze to reduce staff, and I got redundancy, pension, and still got the pension, so thank you very much, BT. Done me the biggest favour I've ever had. Certainly made I was able to carry on my hobbies, which I've got too many of. Anyhow, I'm going to put this little video up first on Odyssey, see if it works, which will then be put on to YouTube. So thanks again. Any comments please make, and get back to it. But this concludes the third of the greenhouses. Probably see the other greenhouse in the distance there. And it shows the two tree ferns. They came back beautifully. Least said about the Polypuntias. I'm having a bit of a battle with the garden. I'm trying to get rid of this ivy which has been allowed to grow up. I'm slowly killing it off, hopefully. It's a long process. Once all the leaves are gone, I'll probably get the cutters out and secateurs and try and get rid of the all the branches and stuff that are there. And my good old sat receiver, let me see that as well. That is very good. I put that up many years ago, and as I said before, I can put up get stations from abroad. So if I turn our local stuff up, BBC or ITV, and it's showing, excuse my French, bloody sport, I can turn that off and turn on something from the continent. An example being Bears for Rares, which is a German programme which I've mentioned before. They talk about antiques, which is quite interesting, and our own bidding room was a spin-off from Bears and Rares, and of course a lot of other programmes they have in German, documentaries and that. Unfortunately I don't speak German. I can understand, well, a little bit, but it makes a change from, once again, bloody rugby or football, which quite frankly I think we get a gutful of it. But as I say, I do not like sport. I never have. Possibly because I had a heart murmur and I was unable to rush about like a madman. But anyhow, that is my thoughts. So I'm going to shut up now and pop this up. So once again, thanks again. Many thanks. Thank you.